Good morning everyone, True Zero Emissions here. I want to mention something that I was thinking about. So with these lights, one question that comes up, and it's something I've thought about a lot too, is where can these be cut? They can actually be cut at approximately every 2 inches. There can literally be 2 inch and then a separate 2 inch, a separate 2 inch, and then run wires to each of those. And I guess that would be running the wires to each of those in parallel, right? Which means all the on each of those 2 inch long tiny LEDs, on each 2 inch, if I call it section, there would be a plus and a minus, and then all the pluses could go out to all the other pluses. Let's say you had 100, right? Let's say we had 100 of these 2 inch strips, right? Just 100 everywhere. All the pluses would connect together to one another, right? So all the pluses connect to one another, and all the minuses would connect to all the minuses, but never the minus and the minuses and the pluses touching one another. Never that, because that's how the circuit works, right? Where they come together in the circuit itself. So plus gets plus, minus gets minus, and connect them all together that way. And that would allow the 2 inch pieces, or whatever length one desires, but in 2 inch like they can't be cut shorter than 2 inch or longer than 2 inch. It has to be between, it has to be a 2 inch interval. I'm not sure how to say it, but it has to be in a, I'll call it an interval of 2 inches, a length of divided by 2 inches. It has to be able to be divisible by 2 inches. And if 2 can divide into it, then it'll cut, because every 2 inches there's a line. Approximately, it's like 1.9 inches, 1.9 something. But there's a line, a real thin, hard to see line. I needed to use a magnifying glass to see it. And that's how I knew where it was. And when you cut it there, when we cut that line right there, then I could see a place for a plus and a minus. I see it there. And that's where we solder the wires onto the that circuit, if we call it that, the lights of circuit, right? So the idea would be, is what if we want a light here, right? But we don't want it here, right? So we could have one here, and then separate here, and this could be like a 4 inch one, right? And then a separate one here, or where, I don't know where, you know, maybe on this, a flat surface, right? Unless if we wanted it to curve, right? That might be interesting. So yeah, and that would just be adding up the, I don't know what the current is, or the watts of these, but there's probably a certain amount of milliwatts for every 2 inches, right? And then we would just add that up, right? So when we're going in parallel, we just add the current. We add it, if I understand correctly. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.